Most of us know that obesity is not just a cosmetic problem. Adipose tissue actually deposits not just under the skin but also in our organs and causes a lot of dysfunction. And obesity is now the leading cause of death and disability globally, at least indirectly. So we should do everything we can to mitigate it. So if you're on your way to lose weight, congratulations because you are on the right path. Now, when it comes to weight management, there are two schools of thought. Now, there are people who would say that a calorie is a calorie is a calorie, and it's all a matter of calories in versus calories out. And then there is another group of people who would say that calories are not created equal, and it's a matter of what types of foods we are eating, and this and that. So, whenever there are two different points of views, the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle, and that is the case here too. So it is true that calories are equal as long as they are outside of our body. So before we consume a banana, for example, a banana is 100 calories for me, for you, for our neighbors, for our friends. But after we consume it, then there are many, many factors which affect our metabolism and hence the metabolism of the banana in such a way that is going to be burned differently in everybody. So we should do everything we can to not only manage our caloric intake but also support our metabolism. And this way we can achieve our goals more efficiently. So as far as caloric intake is concerned, there are all kinds of formulas and apps available commercially, and people pay a lot to get those apps and try to lose weight. But I'll caution you against buying a lot of things or especially the apps to lose weight, because notoriously these apps are going to overestimate your caloric needs, especially if you are older than 20 or 30 years of age. So what you want to do is you want to use a very simple formula which is available online, it's available on my website, which is basically that if you are not doing a lot of exercise, multiply your weight in kilograms, your ideal body weight in kilograms by 30, and that is your basic caloric need. If you are active, then you can add more to it, and you can refer to the formula that I've provided on my website. But that is the basic need, and try to be conservative. Do not go overboard, because of course you want to be overall in a deficit if you're trying to lose weight. The general rule of thumb is that if you are in a deficit of about 500 calories per day, in 1 week you'll be in a deficit of 3,500 calories, so you'll lose about 1 pound. But the reality is usually a little bit different from that, because most of the time when people are trying to lose weight, they go from a very high caloric intake to quite a low caloric intake. So initially, at least, they lose quite a bit of weight, or they lose more than they expect. Also, they lose a lot of water weight because they are usually typically in a dehydrated state. So after that, their weight loss starts to drop a little bit, so they are not as efficient in terms of losing weight, which can cause frustration. But keep in mind that on average it's going to be 1 pound per week if you are in a deficit of 3,500 calories. Now that is not taking metabolism into account. So when you start adding the factors that influence metabolism, this number is going to be different. Now you can of course follow any kind of diet, or you can just eat very healthy. No matter what you do, you are going to be able to lose weight if you are in a caloric deficit. Now, having said that, the second part of it, which is a major part, especially if you are a little bit older, is the metabolism. So how do we support our metabolism? There are at least 10 different ways that I have laid out here, which if we take into account will help us support our metabolism. So the number one thing is the role of fasting. Fasting is a powerful way to boost our metabolism. Regardless of what our caloric intake is, if we fast, our metabolism is going to be faster. That is because we are activating those pathways in our system which lead to catabolic activities, or which lead to burning of fat. And we are suppressing those pathways which lead to accumulation of fat. So by fasting, we can do that efficiently. Now there are all kinds of different ways people can fast, and you can choose the one that works for you. There is 12 hours, 24 hours fast, there is time restricted eating, there is fasting mimicking diet. So you can pick whatever works for you, but pick at least one method and fast periodically so you can get in the habit of that. So that's the number one thing. The second thing is that can boost our metabolism is exercise. So not only when we exercise, we are burning calories and we are directly losing weight, but also we boost our metabolism for the following 24 to 48 hours, especially it's a cardio exercise or if it's a HIIT exercise. So make sure that you exercise regularly, at least 30 to 40 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week, and if possible, more. The number 3 thing is sleep. If our sleep hygiene is appropriate and we are sleeping sufficient and our REM sleep and deep sleep are also adequate, then our metabolism is going to be fast. On the other hand, if our sleep is poor and it's poor quality and quantity, then our insulin resistance will start to build up and we will not lose weight. So make sure that you do everything you can to get good sleep. The number 4 thing is eating good types of foods or functional foods. So there are at least few functional foods that will boost our metabolism, although their effect is very marginal. So what are those foods? Well, apple cider vinegar can boost our metabolism. Chilies or capsaicin can boost our metabolism. There are herbal teas that can boost the metabolism. There are legumes and beans and high fiber foods that are very functional and can boost the metabolism as well. So make sure that these are a part of your routine diet. The number 5 thing is foods that can slow our metabolism. So we should do everything we can to avoid those foods. So what are those? Those are processed foods, refined carbs, and sugars. And those are found everywhere these days. So we need to avoid them absolutely. Oftentimes people ask what are processed foods. So the processed foods are basically the foods that go in the pantry and that can be eaten readily and you don't have to prepare them. Or the foods that go in the freezer and you look at them and you can't even recognize the ingredients. So basically all those foods that have all kinds of all kinds of ingredients and those have been processed heavily should not be eaten. Try to eat whole foods and preferably plant-based foods, because plant-based foods are going to be going to boost your metabolism even further. The number 6 thing is medications that could be slowing your metabolism. So make sure you look at your medications and make sure you're not taking any of those which might be the culprit. So what are the most notorious medicines that can slow our metabolism? Well, those are the number 1 thing is insulin that can not only slow the metabolism but suppress all those metabolic pathways that are going to help us lose weight, because insulin is a building hormone. It is an anabolic hormone. So although we need insulin in situations, for example, diabetes, but unfortunately it comes with a heavy price tag. So if we can do anything to avoid the use of insulin with good diet and exercise and other medicines, we should probably do that. Of course, you want to do it only with the help of your healthcare practitioner. The next medicine is steroids. So you want to avoid steroids as much as possible. Then there are hormonal contraceptives, for example, birth control pills, depot shots. These are the things that are going to also suppress your metabolism. There are antidepressants, antipsychotics, sleep medications, anti-epilepsy medicines. There are some blood pressure medicines and long-term use of antibiotics. All of these are going to suppress your metabolism. So of course, when indicated and when appropriate, we need to take them, but we also need to be careful and not just take them unless absolutely necessary. The next thing that plays a role in our metabolism is the prescription medications. So of course you can take prescription medicines to not only boost your metabolism but also suppress your appetite, which will help you lose weight. But of course that has to be done under the supervision of a healthcare practitioner, preferably your doctor who knows you and can prescribe it appropriately. Also keep in mind that those medicines are not usually long-term. So those are going to only give you short-term benefit, and as soon as you stop taking them, if you do not continue to incorporate healthy lifestyle, you are going to gain all that weight back again. The number 9 thing is the role of hormones. So that is a huge area, especially when it comes to the age groups between 40 to 60. People start gaining weight slowly after they hit menopause or so-called andropause, where the hormones start to go out of balance. That is because the hormones play a major role in supporting our metabolism. So if you feel like you are in that age group, or even if you are outside of that age group and your hormones may be out of balance, you can definitely get it checked. The number 9 thing is the role of microbiome. So There are studies that show that people who are overweight, they tend to have um, abnormally high levels of bacteroides and low levels of firmicutes. So we want to make sure that our ratio between firmicutes and bacteroides is high or adequate, so that we don't start to see a slowing of the metabolism. And how can we improve that ratio? By eating healthy fiber foods, and also we can take some probiotics. Number 10 is the role of toxins. So there are all kinds of environmental toxins and toxins in our foods, especially processed foods, that will slow our metabolism even further. So we want to make sure that we avoid all those foods as much as possible. So in a nutshell, these are the 10 different things that we can do to support our metabolism. So in addition to making sure that our caloric intake is appropriate, we also need to make sure that our metabolism is well supported, so we are not hitting against the wall. And after that, once we achieve our weight loss goals, we need to make sure that we stay there. So the biggest thing that happens is that people lose weight, but then there is a yo-yo effect, because the body tries to go back to the original weight, and as a result, people end up gaining weight again. Automatically, the metabolism slows down. So what happens is, body has this tendency to hold on to a little bit extra weight all the time. That is an evolutionary thing. So what we want to do is we want to be cognizant of that and not be mindless in our eating habits, and make sure that we are not only staying within our caloric budget, but also we are doing everything we can to support our metabolism. So that is the comprehensive guide to weight loss with the help of caloric budget and also with the help of metabolism support in a nutshell. I hope that this is helpful, and enjoy your life.